In the heart of the American Midwest lies the town of Evansdale, Iowa. With a population of just under 5,000 people, it is known for little outside of its agricultural history and a double homicide that occurred in 2012 that remains, as of today, unsolved. The kidnapping and killings being perpetrated likely by a local who may still reside in the town. This horrific story, beginning with a bike ride that saw cousins Elizabeth Collins and Lyric Morrissey vanish from a popular local bike trail, only to be found several months later in a wooded area, murdered by their abductor in cold blood. This is the Evansdale murders. Life's lessons often help us to move forward from our struggles as people. Sadly, however, murder is a different type of suffering for those left to pick up the pieces. Especially when it comes to unsolved cases. It's kind of like the sun refuses to ever rise again for any of these people that are left. A purgatory of memories, no closure, and self-blame. Scar left on the town, a legacy no one but the perpetrator had asked for. Sometimes people forget the real cost of this horrendous criminal act. It costed the lives of 2 children. Something as important as this, we should always remember. Elizabeth June Collins was born on July 31st, 2003, weighing 9 pounds, 13 ounces, at Allen Memorial Hospital in Waterloo, Iowa. The daughter of Drew and Heather Collins, she attended Pointer Elementary School and was described as a nice, bubbly person with an amazing smile who was giving and happy with life and the treasures while living. She loved to sing, to ride her bike, and loved playing softball and hockey. She had an enormous love for animals, and she loved spending time with her siblings and traveling with her family. She was survived by her parents, her brother Kelly, and sisters Amber and Callie. Lyric Raylan Cook Morrissey was born October 2nd, 2001 in Waterloo, Iowa, to her parents Dan and Misty Morrissey. She attended Kingsley Elementary School and was described as a caring and thoughtful, creative person. She loved the outdoors and riding her bike and was best friends with her cousin Elizabeth. She was always known for her loving ways and for giving toys to less fortunate neighborhood kids. She is survived by both her parents, her brother Dylan, and her grandmother Wilma. On July 13, 2012, the girls went on a bike ride towards the popular Myers Lake bike trail in the town. Witnesses and CCTV offer a tight timeline between 12 and 12:30 p.m. that day. It's believed that the kidnapping was taking place between 12:23 and 12:27 p.m. near the southeast portion of the lake and Arbutus Avenue, and that the suspect would have quickly ushered them to a vehicle parked on the street there in the wooded area. Police quickly obtained their scent with another individual in that place. The suspect left their bikes and the purse and phone of one of the girls. The purse was found on the other side of the fence near the lake, likely thrown there by the suspect. The bikes were found by rescue agents at 4 p.m. that day, up against the fence. Neighborhood witnesses spotted a vehicle parked on Arbutus Avenue near the wooded area between 12 and 12:30 p.m. that day. It's described as a white SUV or work van type vehicle. The girls' scents were picked up by law enforcement heading through the wooded area towards Arbutus Avenue. The complex nature of the kidnapping and the quick swiftness of his leaving the scene shows me a sense of determination by the perpetrator and likely points to premeditation. It is unknown whether or not law enforcement were able to pull any latent prints from the girls' items that were left, but without an arrest it leads me to believe that they were not present due to premeditated actions by the suspect to conceal his prints using gloves or by quickly wiping where his hands touched. The purse and phone were thrown over the fence near the water, likely to throw investigators off. The searches of the area and the water gave several days to the suspect as he moved into hiding. This type of suspect is phenomenally rare, as are the means by which he acted out this crime. More than 80% of homicides are family related. 90% of those are perpetrated by a close loved one. The rest are generally gang-related or drug-related. The abduction and murder of children by a stranger accounts for less than 3% of homicides, and several circumstances make this case rarer. For one, they were taken from a public place, frequented by others during the day. Sexual crimes typically see one suspect, so the kidnapping of two victims is even rarer, making up only 0.7% of homicides. The suspect is without a doubt familiar with the area that he took the girls from. He likely was tracking frequently until he saw the victims. He likely watched them for a while, tailed them as they approached the wooded area, and acted quickly, using a ruse or quiet coercion. He may have claimed that he was law enforcement or used an authoritative trick to control them quietly. He may have also utilized a weapon to force them into his vehicle. For months, the town of Evansdale was searching and hoping for a miracle. Lyric's parents were put under the microscope by media due to addiction histories, drama, rumors, and nearly complete silence by the investigators on the case. Then, without warning,
and first with breaking news in the case of those two missing Eastern Iowa girls.
Let's get right to Eric Hansen now with new information. Eric.
Yes, and Kevin, this has all been unfolding within the last half hour or so. Deputies now say a hunter found two bodies this afternoon over the lunch hour. And while investigators cannot positively identify them yet as the cousins who have been missing since July, they do say that this is not the outcome they wanted in this case. People across northeast Iowa have been searching for 11-year-old Lyric Cook Morrissey and 9-year-old Elizabeth Collins since July 13th. That's when the cousins went missing and their bikes were found near Myers Lake in Evansdale. Dive teams, dogs, FBI agents, and officers from around the Midwest searched for the girls for weeks. That lake was even partially drained, but nothing. Until today, when a hunter found two bodies around 12:45 this afternoon. The two bodies are now on their way to the state medical examiner's office in Ankeny, and the parents of the two girls have been notified. But investigators aren't saying much else yet. They're not saying where the bodies were found, other than hunters found them. They're not saying what condition the bodies were in, and they're not saying whether they have any suspects in the case. But look at the faces of the investigators who have poured so many resources into this case, and you can tell that today's discovery of two bodies is impacting them too.
Yeah, it's definitely not the outcome that we wanted, obviously. Numerous officers from many jurisdictions have worked on this case around the clock since the 13th of July when we were notified of this. This is a difficult thing for us to go through. It's a difficult thing for the people of the community, not just the community of Evansdale, but also the whole community that all came together and showed their support for the family and also for law enforcement.
Now, we do hope to learn more about today's discovery at another press conference that's scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. By then, they hope to be able to positively identify those bodies that were found today and also to release more information about this news. As they said, they just have been waiting months and they were hoping they wouldn't have to share this news.
And everyone's heart just hurting right now following this. And they're still even now asking for people with any information to come forward and help out.
Yeah, they are. This case is far from closed, as they said. So investigators are really asking anybody with information that can help them kind of fill in some of the blanks to call the Evansdale Police Department or the Blackhawk County Sheriff's Office in Waterloo. As they said, they're trying to sift through a lot of information. They don't want to damage that crime scene that they have on their hands right now, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
That's right. And we had our Emily Price at that news conference, and we will continue to bring more information as it develops. Thank you, Eric.
Fate. It won't always be a good outcome, but everything happens the way that it must. If you're a believer in it, then this story is riddled with signs, coincidences, that point squarely in the direction of the suspect himself. And maybe he's watching, waiting, hoping that we'll all stop looking for him. Well, to him I say, as long as you're out there with your mask on, fooling your world, we'll all be here making sure that you remember what you did. Join me next time in my next video when we will be discussing the case after the bodies are discovered. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.